2 has entered the podcast.
Welcome back, people, to Player 2 has entered the podcast. That podcast where we talk about video games, nerd stuff, and two friends catching up for the week. I am your co-host, Michael, a.k.a. MC Paperstacks, and with me, as always, is my co-host with the freshest of fresh haircuts.
Oh, baby. Full Metal Merc, Derek, a.k.a. Full Metal Merc.
I threw you off with that compliment. I looked over and I was like, ooh, he's all lined up.
The haircut. Here's the funny thing about that.
Yeah.
So I got my haircut by this barber for the second time. Mm-hmm. And apparently he didn't cut off my widow's peak and line it.
Yeah, now
so
that
it looks like, it looks like I'm missing hair because he didn't cut on my line.
It's like you got a little baby swoosh, like you got a little cowlick or something, and it's affecting your widow's peak. That's funny.
Yeah, and I looked at in the mirror and I said, "Hey man, what happened here?"
Hey man, fix this shit. Well, why didn't he fix it?
Well, I didn't realize at the time that's what had happened.
I thought you looked in the mirror at the barbershop and was like, bro.
I did, but I still
and he was like,
I saw this. Yeah, right.
Time. You got to go. Sorry, we're closing up.
Right.
Well, you know, if you hadn't pointed out, I wouldn't have really noticed. You look fine.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I've been having Vicky fill it in with mascara, with the eyelash fiber.
You better stop.
Oh, yeah, no, it was looking good, too. It was looking good. But today I was just like, nah. You couldn't tell. You could not tell.
Well, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Aged.
Anyways, what's going on with you this week?
You know, same old. Trying to keep the hairline right.
I guess that's the big focus around here.
Mm-hmm. Nah, but seriously, right now at ebay.com/str/gamergoodies and more, I'm running 15% off for the entire month of November. Get into the store and check this stuff out. I've been selling stuff like crazy. Y'all got to get on there.
'Tis the season.
Yeah. Right. And you need to get your online shopping done quick because
right now,
just like last year, I'm sure that there's going to be hella backup at USPS, UPS, FedEx, all that.
You ain't even got to guess. Everybody and their mom has been saying like shipping is fucked this year. So get that in right now, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
And don't hassle sellers about where your item is because it's going to be late. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to experience that, buy your stuff early and then you'll be all right. So, check out the store. Please check out the store. I need money. I need money. All I really want to use is the money.
Money. I get trying to get some cheese for this egg,
right?
You know,
bruh.
I hear
right
for real.
Oh, jeez.
What else is going on?
Other than that, man, as far as current events go, I saw the new Morbius trailer. We finally got another trailer.
Morbius dropped a trailer. Now, okay. This
Morbius, the living
is,
vampire.
They were very clear up front. This is the Marvel universe that Sony is fucking up. So it's the Venom Marvel universe. The what else is it besides Venom? They mentioned somebody else, some other property.
Craven probably.
Oh, they're gonna do Craven too.
I think they're doing Craven.
Bitches.
I mean, they only have so much.
I feel like the beginning of the trailer had a whole nother like franchise they mentioned besides Venom, but I can't remember. Oh, Into the Spider-Verse, which was good. It's the only good thing they could mention. It's like, we bankrolled that. We bankrolled Into the Spider-Verse.
Fine, I
ain't
guess.
getting you any goodwill with us. Sorry.
Right.
Anyways.
So I watched the trailer, and I don't know, man. It looks cool. At the very least, the trailer made it look cool. I watched the trailer, and I was like, you know what? There were some cool shots in this. The effects are okay. It actually looks like it might be cool. But then I'm like, it's Jared Leto. And he's not a bad actor, but...
Yeah, what's up with Jared Leto? Can we talk about Jared Leto for a second? Why is it that... Okay, so he is a good actor, and he's been good in things. I think I kind of dug his character in Blade Runner because he was effective at making me uncomfortable, and he was a villain, right? Mm-hmm. And then he was like that creepy guy in that Denzel movie recently on HBO. I don't really like how that movie ended. It was weird. He's a bad Joker. By bad, I mean like really bad, not like Michael Jackson bad. I don't know if I like him. I feel like he's a poor man's Jake Gyllenhaal. Can we just have Jake Gyllenhaal do these roles? Yeah, I went there. Yeah.
I mean, I love Jake Gyllenhaal, so
I do too. He's great.
Maybe.
Unless he's problematic, which I don't want to know.
Yeah, no. I don't want to know
but no, seriously. I don't know. There's something about Jared Leto that just doesn't sit right with me anymore. He's up to something. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find
He's
some
up
bodies.
to something.
He's up to something.
Right?
We're gonna find some bodies in his closet.
He actually is
Don't
Morbius.
Yeah, he actually is Morbius. I will admit that the creature effects were kind of interesting. Of course, they kept him in his Jared Leto form most of the time because that's how they bankroll with a big star. I thought the trailer was corny. I thought it exhibited bad writing. I kind of tired, even though it was effective when they did it with the Witcher trailer for season 2. They keep playing old songs, and then but it's like a slow, somber remix, and they've been doing this for like years. I want to say damn near a decade now. Same style. Trailer with a song you remember from the 80s, but sung in a different way. Like, what is up with that? What was the song playing during Morbius trailer? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
People are strange. I think it was that one, wasn't it? When you're strange. Maybe. I think it was that one. Anyways, yeah, overall, the trailer did not ignite in me a sense of I got to go out and risk COVID to see this. So I will not.
Me either.
I'm gonna catch it on whatever streaming service it ends up on. Although considering how hard it was to see Venom, I might have to wait until it's like super cheap and just rent it on Vudu or something.
So you've seen Let There Be Carnage?
No, I saw the first.
Okay.
No, I saw the first.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
And I waited a really long time to see it. I saw it in anticipation of the second movie, and then I heard the second movie was worse than the first one. And considering the first one was just okay, I didn't want to waste my time.
No, I still want to see it. I don't care.
I know you do. That's okay.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
For me this week.
Well, I meant to mention this last week, but we had a guest, and when you have a guest, sometimes, I push stuff out just to make sure we make room for them, so to speak. But they were giving out shiny legendaries for Sword and Shield. And so if you had the Sword Dog in Sword, you got the Shield Dog. And if you had the Shield Dog in Shield, you got the Sword Dog, and they're shiny. And I had codes, and they worked, even though they were for a UK website. And now I have myself a shiny Zamazenta in Sword.
Sweet.
Yay! And I think I put my other code up to the Switch channel in the Gamer Friends Discord, but I don't think anybody actually took advantage of that code. So if anybody's listening, on the off chance my code hasn't been taken and you have Pokemon Shield, I got a code for you potentially. So
so do shiny Pokemon
dog.
have like altered stats, or are they just different colors?
They're just different colors. They're in some games, or this could be a rumor, might be unsubstantiated, but it was my understanding that they would have a higher chance to have better individual values. Shinies would, which kind of makes sense because they're so rare. Why would you want to make them shitty? But I don't know if that actually holds water currently. But it's just a flex, just to go, hey, I got a shiny. They're super rare.
Hey, I went to the store.
So,
got
all right,
free.
Well, speaking of flexing, for whatever week in a row, I think you've played more games than me, and you finished a lot of games this week, from what I hear. Let's get into it, man. What you playing this week?
All right, so I'm gonna go. Last game that I played is gonna be the one that I spent the most time on. First off, some games from Game Pass. I played Rain on Your Parade. You play as a cloud, and you literally rain on people. They give you different objectives. Eventually, you get like thunder. Your cloud is literally like on strings, and it's like a cardboard cloud, and it's just raining on all.
I get you. So the graphics kind of look like a cardboard cutout picture. Okay.
It's really fun. Seems like one of those mobile games that they just threw on Xbox Game Pass. Like it has that type of feel. New Super Lucky's Tale. I'm actually playing it for real. Nora keeps asking me, in the beginning of the game, he gets separated from his sister. And Nora keeps asking me after we finish the level, can he go home to his sister now? I was like, oh no, sweetie, we got to beat the whole game first. We can't just beat a level. So she really wants him to get back to his sister.
That's rough.
Finally, after years of wanting to play this game, Ryse, Son of Rome.
You never played it on
Finally
Xbox?
played it. I never played it.
Interesting.
Even though I had an Xbox One before. I enjoy it. It's not bad. It's actually,
especially for a launch game. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this came out in 2013.
Did you play it with the Xbox? Did you enhance your experience with the Xbox Kinect?
No. I don't even know what that would enhance, but like the combat it's fine. I know at the time it'd probably be amazing, but now it's like played so many different games. But
no,
not amazing, but
yeah, at the time, it was probably a step above mediocre, but it was a launch game. It was just showing off the capability of the Xbox One, which, as you know, in the very beginning, didn't feel like leaps and bounds. They were.
It still looks good though.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And that's CryEngine for you.
There you
Crytek,
go. Yeah, Crytek.
Yep, on Nintendo Online, the expansion pack, I finally got added to that family plan. So I played Gunstar Heroes, awesome game still.
It's a good game, yeah.
Played M.U.S.H.A, which is that really expensive Sega Genesis game. And I was like, ooh, why would anybody pay that much for this? Like, it's fun. It's okay. But it's just a shoot 'em up.
Well, what I found interesting about it, because I played a little bit of it too, instead of immediately losing all your power-ups when you get hit or having life, the more power-ups you pick up, the more bullets you shoot, the more add-ons you get. And then as you get hit, they then get removed one by one.
Yeah.
So you have this kind of dynamic where you're trying to avoid shots, but the more shots you avoid, the more power-ups you pick up, the more powerful you become. It's almost like an adjustable slider for difficulty, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with the Nintendo Switch Online, you have that rewind button just right there as soon as you fuck up. And man, a rewind button and a shmup, forget about it.
Yeah, baby.
Forget about it. Gabagool.
I also liked how you could switch your power-ups to which way they shot. Mm-hmm. So like you would get those two rotating ships and you can put them in front of you, or they would rotate around you, or they shoot behind you. Yep. So that was really dope. Sin and Punishment, I played that. Yeah, it's okay.
You don't like it as much as the Wii version?
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously it's an N64 game, but it just seemed really incredibly simple, and really all it's doing was holding a button and moving the cursor.
Well, you know that you can dodge and move left and right with the person too, right?
Well, yeah, that too. I was doing that. Like, I was doing all the things, but like I didn't feel like I had to.
Interesting. What difficulty were you playing on?
I don't remember. It was probably easy.
Well, there
we have it, folks.
Put that shit on normal if it's putting you to sleep.
Right.
I played it on normal, I believe, and there's a TikTok of me playing a little bit of it because I was showing off the N64 controller, which totally worth it. We talked about it last week. I dig it. I think it's kind of got that weirdness that you would get from that generation, more so on PlayStation than N64, but it's nice to have that type of title on the N64. I respect it for what came after it, certainly. So
yeah,
it was a neat experience. I agree with you. It's like nothing like that's going to blow you away, but it's also unique enough to where I feel like it's a worthwhile addition to the original lineup.
Yeah, I hear that.
So
especially since it didn't come out over here.
Right.
Let's see. Star Fox 64, my favorite game on the console.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, do a barrel roll. Fox, help me.
I guess I should thank you.
Right. Who are you guys? I love Star Fox 64. It's weird getting used to where the buttons are because I don't have the N64 controller yet. Mm-hmm. Like they have ZL and is the barrel roll.
Yeah, ZL is actually
R. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they have R as the R. So like it's alternating instead of like right next to each. Well, I guess that's how it was in the original.
Yeah, no, the L and R are in the same spot. The Z is on ZL. The ZR, if you hold it down, the face buttons become the directional C buttons. Oh. And then the X and Y are the C buttons they found that you would use the most. So I've noticed it changes from game to game. Like in that one, I think it's like left and down. And then in Sin and Punishment, it's left and right because that's what you would use to move left and right. Unfortunately, you can't. We talked about this before.
Remap them.
Yeah, you can't remap them, which kind of sucks. But I mean, it's workable. I still think it's worth it to get an N64 controller. If you're interested in gaming news, we'll get into whether or not that's going to become a reality for you anytime soon. Yeah. What else?
Yeah. The Pathless. I played some more of that. I beat it.
Okay.
It was very interesting and it was beautiful. And like I said last week, it gives me like Shadow of Colossus vibes where you just fight the bosses and it focuses on traversal. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm glad I played that. You know?
Cool. How long did it take you to beat?
Like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh,
so not long at all.
Yeah, but you only pay like, a few bucks for it. So.
Like $4, yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually just took a bunch of those Walmart clearance games to GameStop because they're doing 50% extra trading credit.
Oh, wow.
So I got like 15 or $20 for that, actually.
Wow.
Trading credit. So yeah, that was cool. And finally, a game that I picked up between last week and this week is Guardians of the Galaxy. I couldn't help myself. Everybody was saying it was good. Oh my God, you gotta play it. You gotta try it. So I bought it. And the reviews are right. It's pretty fucking dope. It's pretty good. It tells a very emotional story. There's a lot of dialogue. So much dialogue, as you would expect in the Guardians of the Galaxy game. It's well written. It's very funny. There are a few surprises in there that had me like, what? Characters that appear in the game. I was just like, what? I didn't think they were going to be in the game. And then they were in the game, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. The boss fights are super cool. And the characterization of the Guardians is just, these are the definitive Guardians for me.
Okay.
Movies, comics, games. It's Guardians of the Galaxy, PS5. Love it. Love it, love it.
So does that mean Crisp Rat, he is the stunt double now?
He is the stunt double now. Douche Lord has taken over for Chris Pratt. Oh, Chris Pratt gets so much work. So much.
Yeah.
I wish I got work like that.
Yeah, he's also kind of a douchebag. I saw something this week involving his kids that made me cringe. I was like, ugh. Anyways, let's not talk about him. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the game. A lot of what you're saying is mirroring what I'm hearing from other people, too, that, you know, I think James Stephanie Sterling did a Jim Impressions on it and said something to the effect of, I kind of felt like I was going to have that stunt double feeling like I did with Marvel's Avengers, but then they kind of grew into their own characters, and now I see them as the Guardians, just like you said. There's a lot of that going around, and a lot of different reviewers are saying similar things about how they went in with low expectations, and it just blew their expectations out of the water. Yeah. So
yeah, I went in with no expectations.
You loved it,
except for after I read the reviews, and I was like, oh, expectations. There they go.
Yeah.
When they kept showing it off, I was just like, I don't know if I want to play this shit.
Yeah.
Come on, Square.
Come on, Square.
But yeah, that's what I played this week. Mike, what have you been playing?
Oh boy. So last week, right before, I think it was like just after we recorded, the next DLC for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity came out, where they were adding, I think, some new characters, which I haven't unlocked yet. I've been playing it for about like 4 or 5 hours this week. And they added actual new stages. Like there's a stage where you're actually in Kakariko Village. I think that's what it's called, where one of the fairies are. You're unlocking more abilities for the characters, like their special abilities will do extra things. So it's like changing the way that the normal characters are played, which is kind of cool. And then you're unlocking special weapons for them, which I think will eventually turn into like stronger weapons, possibly, which is neat. Unfortunately, I've played that game for, I think, over 100 hours now, and it's starting to get a little stale on me. Like I was kind of pushing myself to play through this DLC rather than enjoying it like I should. Yeah. And that just could be a mood that I'm in right now. I don't know, but I'll get sick of it fairly quickly. Maybe like an hour or two, maybe about an hour into playing it, I'll be like, oh, I'm kind of over this now. I get over it really quickly, and then I'll come back the next day like eager to play it again. And then again, after an hour, I'm like, I'm done. So that doesn't say great things about it, but that could be more me than the game because they're offering a lot of content. So Tales of Arise, playing a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been in love with the game so bad? Ooh. I mean, Tales of Arise continues to be good. I did start to get a little sick of it, too. Only because I was playing it so much, but then that immediately went away, and I got excited for it again. Like, I hit a little bit of a lull when I got to the third town, and I was like, shit, here we go again. But then it picked up because I got new characters, and then I unlocked this character named Kisara, and she is gorgeous.
Double cheeked up.
She is definitely caked up, but she plays with like a full armor and a shield, but somehow like the donk shines through. And then I picked up her and another character, Dohalim, and he's beautiful too, actually.
Yeah, Dohalim is a beautiful man.
Yeah, everybody in the game is beautiful. I'm enjoying it. It's interesting to see how they deal with it when you have more characters than a full party, how they can still be brought in and do their specials, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Because every character has a little meter that goes around their portrait, and when it fills up, it gives them the chance to affect battle in a pretty meaningful way. So, for example, the mage, Rinwell, if somebody's charging up a spell, and you can see it because an icon will pop above their head, if her special is ready, you can send her in with a push of a button, and she will steal the spells they're casting and then get to cast them herself whenever she wants, which is really cool because it stops them from attacking you and then gives you an extra attack. And then, for example, Kisara just got her. If there's a large enemy and it's rearing up to tackle or charge you, you can send her in. She's bop, pops her shield down and they bash into it and bounce off like, oh no. Like, different stuff like that plays out depending on what the character's ability is. And there's always some kind of attack or a behavior that the enemies you fight will exhibit where a particular character's ability will come in and help counter that. And considering how many characters you have, that really, again, speaks to the variety in battle because you have all of these different types of behaviors you need to read and anticipate and learn to get that flow of battle going. But once you do, you feel like a bit of a badass because you have this team that's well coordinated. Probably not as well coordinated as the Guardians because it does some really interesting things with leadership and a team dynamic, but you still get the similar feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So good stuff. Back for Blood. Still getting my ass kicked in that. Got a crew mainly playing with Big Nakruma from Gamer Friends, that Tim dude, Jack, this guy named Professor Dump Truck who likes to scare all the birds. When you scare birds in that game, it causes a horde. And when he learned that, he was like, I will scare all the birds.
All the birds. We will
yeah.
not make it out of here alive.
Yeah, I continue not to super fit in with them. Like, I cut jokes, I get crickets. But, I mean, they're nice overall. It's just, I'm a sensitive boy, I think. That's the problem. I'm like, oh, my feelings.
Right? I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, it turns out not to this crowd. But I'm still enjoying the game, like, tremendously. So, the last game that I played was something I talked about last week. Do you remember when I mentioned The Forgotten City was coming to Game Pass? Mm-hmm. It's that game that a few people made based off a really popular Skyrim mod. And it kind of turned into its own game. You can kind of see the Skyrim roots, but it definitely is its own thing. Essentially, you're in the real world and you meet up with a mysterious person. Like you wake up on a riverbank, maybe you passed out or something, and you can pick your backstory. And depending on what backstory you pick, you could be an archaeologist who's really good with history. You could be a soldier who has a gun. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. So it just depends on what you want to pick. And she sends you into these ruins after a friend of hers, and then you fall down this hole and end up in like this underground ancient Roman city. There's a bunch of gold statues everywhere. And you start to suspect by the way the gold statues are set up that these were actually used to be people and they were turned into gold. And then you get to this portal, and when you step through, you're back in the city again, but you're 2,000 years in the past.
Damn.
And there's Romans walking around. It's a city of around 26 or so people. The main leader of the city kind of summons you pretty quickly and is like, hey, here's the deal. We're in a bit of a time loop. And I think that our end is coming. I can't figure it out because I'm the leader and people are going to be suspicious if I ask questions. I need you to find out who's going to curse us or how this all plays out. So the whole conceit of the game is you going around and talking to people and investigating and trying to figure out before the end of the time loop who causes the people to turn to gold, how you can stop the time loop, how you can get out of there. So think 12 minutes, but with gameplay that you're more familiar with, like walking around and less adventure game, right? So I didn't get super far into it, but from what I've played, I was extremely impressed just with what they were able to do with these assets and with the mod, to be honest. So it's something I'll probably dive into again. But at the time I played it, I was looking to play something light, and I thought I would check it out. I thought it would be more like Skyrim as far as combat, and it wasn't. So I was like, this is a little too heavy. Let me set this aside for when I'm actually ready for it and really dive into it. That game's going to take a day, I think, to sink my teeth into it. So more on that as it develops.
Yeah, and I wanted to just circle back to Guardians real quick because I need to say this. The game is buggy. There are a lot of bugs in the game.
Oh, no.
Not anything that's like going to take away from your enjoyment of it, but just little annoying stuff. So, for instance, a prompt will come up, be like, press triangle to do this. You press it. Okay, but sometimes the prompt will stay on the screen. It will never go away unless you reload your save. That was a bit annoying. A lot of times you start a conversation with a character, but then there's background conversations that overshadow your conversation, so you can't really hear the person that you're talking to, or the conversation will involve the person you're talking to and someone else. And it's just weird, like, I don't understand
weird mixing issue where they have like the background noise louder than, Yeah,
I don't understand why that was happening. In combat, there was a point where I was stuck in like a perpetual dash motion with Peter. He was just, he would move a little bit and stop, move a little bit and stop. And I was like, fuck, man, I just want to walk normally.
That's really weird.
Kept doing it.
Yeah.
So I had to reload quite a few times. It got a bit annoying, but overall, it was fine. But that's just a few of the things that I was just like, this is kind of ridiculous for this to be such a big budget game. And these bugs are like, I'm encountering them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like throughout the game. It's not just like, oh, that happened one time. Nope. It happens quite a bit. There's a caveat. There's a lot of bugs in it, but doesn't fully interrupt my enjoyment of the game. So I just want to tell y'all that.
I experienced my fair share of bugs in Back 4 Blood. That's the buggy game I've been playing lately, but it doesn't sound like it interrupted gameplay as much as it did with you and the Guardians. Like, it was mainly like, hey, that zombie's just floating in the air instead of sticking to a wall. Interesting.
Right.
Stuff like that. Or hey, I got shot and my controller never stopped vibrating from it. It's just,
oh, damn.
It's vibrating off into the atmosphere. So, weird stuff like that. All right, well, let's move on and get into gaming news. Gaming news.
Ooh.
So, this week, the Elden Ring gameplay trailer came out, and you watched the whole thing. How long was it?
I did. It was like 20 minutes.
I think I watched like 5 minutes of it. I had made my determination after watching 5. I was like, it's gorgeous. It's a From Software game. I ain't even gonna try this time.
Right. And the same here. Like, I watched it and it looked much better than the first trailer we got. Remember I said it looked like a PS3 game?
Yeah, no, they cleaned it up tremendously.
Oh my god, it looks so much better.
Yeah.
But the gameplay looks a bit different from your regular Dark Souls or Soulsborne game.
Does it though?
Like
because there was a conspicuous lack of HUD, which I pointed out when I was talking to somebody in Discord.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so he fought that dragon. They kept cutting the scene to make the fight with the dragon swift.
Yeah.
When you got hit by the dragon, you didn't see how many hit points it took. When you hit the dragon, you didn't see how many hit points you took. When you swung your sword, you didn't see how much stamina it took up. Although I think somebody mentioned that stamina is more tied to the weapon you use rather than your default stat. It's like, which is weird, but still, those systems are in place. And I was like, in real time, the fight with the dragon, that was like the 28th time that he did it.
That they fought.
And it took like 2 hours to kill that fucker. But they made it look fun and quick and dynamic. Like, oh, I fought this dragon for like 10 minutes. And... Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a HUD. I don't know.
Of course there is. Yeah,
there's going to be a HUD. So they're just not showing it. They're just trying to show off
you
the
can
gameplay.
have hope.
It's a gameplay trailer.
It's fooling
so you can have
somebody.
hope, exactly.
Somebody's going to be like,
yeah.
that looks, simple. The hits are connected. I bet I could do this. Nope.
Yeah. They'll understand editing at all. They're just like, wow.
Yeah.
He was on his back and then he was up on his feet immediately.
I wanted to believe. I was watching it like, yes. But then in my heart, I knew. I mean, because I literally just tried Sekiro for the first time.
Sekiro's hard as fuck.
Sekiro had me believing for a second. I was like, wait a second. Could I do this? Could this be the one?
Can't.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
Damn it. I can't do it.
Man. I want to play a From Software game. Why do I suck?
Right?
Oh, no.
I saw a lot of like magic attacks that you could use more so than there have been in the other Souls games. Like, you can literally
pretty Souls-like to me, dude. I don't know.
I
didn't
know,
watch
man.
the whole thing, though. What magic did you see in the latter half?
You can summon spirit monsters to help you fight, and they like take hits and don't like dissipate if they get hit from what it looked like.
Are you sure that wasn't just a showcase of bringing other players into the game, a la other Souls games?
Yeah.
Oh, it was definitely, okay.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely summonable spirits
that
you can use. There's a sneaking aspect. You can jump. Can you jump in Souls games? I know you can in Sekiro, but like in Dark Souls, I don't
know
think
if you can jump in Dark Souls. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think you can jump.
I feel like you can roll around.
I think it's roll.
Yeah.
But like calling the horse up out of nowhere is dope. And then they got the spring jump where you can jump. Some of the levels or some of the areas are real vertical, so you can just immediately jump up.
Yeah, they give you a lot of verticality.
Yeah. And then there was a movie he did where he made his sword. It looked like a giant spirit sword, and then he just slammed it down. And I was like, oh, that looks dope. I probably won't ever play it long enough to get that ability, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it does like 2 hit points out of 100. So
right. But yeah, no, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna play it, but it looks cool. So
that would be another thing that would balance Souls games better. Somebody's trying to convince me I should go back and give them a chance, and I'm like, you think I haven't? You think I don't want to play these games? I do. I think somebody recently told me they thought that Ghost of Tsushima on lethal difficulty was harder than a Souls game, and I was like, it's not. Do you know how I know it's not? Because I beat Ghost of Tsushima on lethal. I can barely get past the first chapter in any of the Souls. Well, that's not true. The original Dark Souls, I got actually pretty far. I just hated it the entire time. Mm-hmm. I was miserable playing that game. I was like, when does this get
good?
Just a modicum of, because it just felt so oppressive. And I know that's the mood they're going for, but the fact that around every corner I could just die in one hit, you know what I mean? And I often did and had to try it again. And there's all these traps and things waiting for me. The thing that set Ghost of Tsushima apart is, on lethal difficulty, you could most definitely die in one hit, right? Mm-hmm. But so could the enemies.
Right.
That's the difference. I didn't have to spend hours fighting somebody because I was chipping away at their HP while they were one-shotting me. We were one-shotting each other. And then for, like beefier enemies like duels, that was a little bit harder. But again, you had more tools in your arsenal and they were more reliable. I don't want to talk shit about Dark Souls because, again, they've made several sequels, and I think things have gotten better with each iteration. And maybe I just need to play a Dark Souls game at 60 frames per second. Maybe that's what it's going to take, perhaps. But maybe. I also felt like the timing and the animation never connected right for me. So I never felt like I could reliably parry or shield or dodge with any kind of regularity, with consistency. I could not rely on my abilities and reflexes alone to get me out of most situations they presented me with. But with Ghost, I was always ready for whatever. Like, I had the tools I needed. When I died in Souls, I was like, fuck you. And when I died in Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, well, fuck me. I messed up. Yeah. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Like, I made a mistake. Let's try again. Look at you. You got me complaining about Dark Souls all over again. I never pass up an opportunity. Well, anyways, so final verdict. I'm assuming you're not probably going to go for it either.
I'm not going to go for it, but they did get a new release date. It was supposed to come out in January. Now it's coming out February 25th.
Yeah. I think that was known last week. I can't remember. If
you think it was known last week?
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the
we didn't report on it.
We didn't? Okay. I thought I had it written down. It doesn't matter. It's now people know for sure. I mean, not that they come to us for the latest in news. What do people come to us for?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Listeners, send us a sweet email and boost our egos. What do you come to us for?
Right. Why do you listen to us?
Why do you listen to us?
Right.
All right. Next story. This is something I wanted to mention last week too, but again, it got cut because of the length of the episode. And it's kind of a rumor, but it's a pretty solid one. There are rumors that WB is working on a Smash Brothers-like crossover game using all of the Warner Brothers properties. Now, the reason why this sounds viable is, I don't know, Space Jam.
Yeah.
Do I need to say more?
The greatest movie of this year.
Sure. Whatever you say. They're probably going to throw all their properties into some sort of game. Like, they have a real hard-on for crossovers. I mean, I get it, because successful crossovers make a lot of money, a la Smash or the MCU. But a lot of
crossovers also break a lot of ankles.
Cute. That was a basketball joke. Thank you for the sports joke in our video game podcast.
Sportsing it up.
Sportsing it up.
In the sports club.
But the difference is there's a lot more effort and planning and skill that goes into setting that trend rather than following it, right? Mm-hmm. And WB is following the trend, so, I mean, we already see the difference in quality. Also, they own Harry Potter, and they are not going to pass up the opportunity to put Harry Potter in a fighter, which means JK gets some money, which means I'll pass.
Expelliarmus.
Exactly. All right. Now, we talked a few times about Netflix games. There's been reports that for some Android users on the Netflix app, they have started to roll out games that can be played. There's a few that rolled out for people this week, I think on Tuesday. Stranger Things 1984, Stranger Things 3, the game, which I think you can play on other platforms, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up. If those sound like mobile games plus Stranger Things, that's probably what they are. And I think I mentioned that when we first heard about this, that it will probably be more akin to mobile gaming, at least at first. Mm-hmm. And that sounds like what it may be. I'm keeping my eye out on my app to see if a game's update will show up. But if there's any listeners out there that has actually had a chance to get some hands-on with any of the Netflix games, let us know what you think. I'm really curious, and I don't really know what the criteria is for who gets those games early. If they're doing it by region, maybe it's all Canadians. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the deal is, but they're out there for some folks. I mentioned this earlier, the N64 controller, definitely a good thing to get for Nintendo Switch Online. However, it was announced by Nintendo that the N64 controller will likely not be restocked until early 2022. So if you're looking to stuff that in a stocking, look again, because you probably have a better chance getting a real N64 controller than one of these.
I didn't even buy mine, so I'm kind of shitty. But I don't know how often I'm going to be playing Star Fox.
Yeah.
Not enough to buy a controller, maybe. I don't know.
I'm patiently waiting for the release of The Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. So it's my favorite N64 game. And I actually had a really good time. Like, I plan on beating some of these. I'm really looking forward to Paper Mario because I haven't had a chance to play that.
Yeah.
I played a fair share of Dr. Mario, too, which is, I'll play that on any system. I love Dr. Mario.
Right.
I'm into it. All right. Cool things are happening in the world of downloads. I don't know if you've noticed this with Game Pass with new games, but if you click to pre-download, things will actually automatically download when they're ready, and that's happening with San Andreas. That's happening with Forza 5. Forza 5, I believe, is coming out November. Forza Horizon 5 is coming out November 9th. But right now, you can go into Game Pass and set it up to download, so that way you don't have to wait. It'll pre-download, and as soon as it's ready, boom, you can play it, rather than waiting for launch day and then downloading it for a few hours.
Yeah,
and I love the idea.
114 gigabytes, so you definitely want to.
If you're going to pre-download any game, pre-download that shit. So I'm actually looking forward to it because I know a lot of people in Gamer Friends Discord that want to play Forza, especially Audio Nerd 64. Like, he's super into racing games, so I'm down to play that for about a month with them and then never touch it again.
I'm down to play it for a session and then be like, ooh, that's pretty, and they never touch it again.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Game Pass got It Takes Two, our favorite co-op game. Yeah. For those of you who heard us talk about It Takes Two on the show and you're interested, if you have Game Pass and you have a friend that has Game Pass, please get on it. It is a wonderful co-op experience, and I think you will not regret trying it out. So give that a shot. If you have a loved one and both of you have Xboxes, even better. The stronger your relationship, the stronger time you'll have. If you have a tenuous or weak relationship, it's going to test you. But luckily, Derek and I, we saved our marriage. So
yes,
we did good. That's right.
We're
the Book of Love.
4 years strong.
That's right. And going. I don't remember our anniversary, though, so don't ask me. Anyways, CMOS battery issues. PS4 got its fixed, right? And it was just recently announced that the CMOS issue is preemptively fixed for PS5 as well.
Nice.
So
we love to see it.
As a reminder, that was that ticking time bomb where if the battery ran out inside your PlayStation console, it would have to do an internet check before it would play any games, including physical games, effectively locking you out once the servers go down, which PS3 is facing that right now. So in the future, if for some reason you're hanging on to your old PS5 when you still have your PS8 or whatever,
right,
you're good to play physical games on it. I feel like a lot of us, I want to do a sidebar here because I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
A lot of us are really holding on to our old systems and old games because traditionally publishers have not done a very good job at cataloging or giving us access to play the older games. And that's why we really focus on physical games, right? And you just said, I'm not really sure how often I'm going to want to play Star Fox, right? We do love our retro games. We go back and play them. But with so many games coming out and this industry exploding like it has in the last decade, will there be a point to where there are just so many new games coming out we don't really feel the need to revisit old games anymore? I mean, will nostalgia become a thing of the past because there's just so much content to consume?
I think so, honestly. At least for video games, because I think about the generation that's growing up now is growing up with just digital stuff. You know, they got Wi-Fi and they can download all their games digitally.
It's oversaturated with every type of game you could ever want to play, right?
Yeah, so I think that after our generation is dead and gone, I think that people won't care about physical media. It'll be a very small percentage.
Yeah,
it'll have to be like their father passed it down to them or something.
Yeah,
like
no, it's gonna be one woman, Sandy Bullocks, in her 90s office, You know, and everybody's like, she's crazy. She hangs out with Demolition Man, and she carries all those 90s artifacts.
Yeah, right.
Sandy Bullock's. She's got the Lethal Weapon poster, and she's the only one person in the future that cares.
Right,
so.
Exactly.
All right. The last story, this literally recently got announced. I don't think this was up yesterday. Marvel's Avengers finally set the date for a huge update, including getting Spider-Man on the PlayStation version of the game, which is dropping November 30th.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Butterface Spider-Man
actually coming out.
dropping on November 30th. So
Butterface Spider-Man. Don't even know what he looks like yet, but you know it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to go put his stamp on the game, and it'll elevate by his presence, but I feel like him being added to Marvel's Avengers will hurt him in his game more than it'll help Marvel's Avengers, because people associate Spider-Man with, like this Marvel's Avengers game.
I just feel like they'd have to create a whole new environment for him.
Yeah. Or just make him terrible to play like everybody else.
Yeah, because, I mean, after Marvel Spider-Man and stuff and playing that, like, do I really want to play a Spider-Man in this B-movie version?
No, you don't. No, you don't. But, you know, it's funny. When they dropped Marvel's Avengers on Game Pass, I went back and played it proper because all I played was the beta, and I had fun with it. I did. Mm-hmm. I was having fun, and I was going through the missions. We were right about to unlock Iron Man, and I just got burnt out because as you play through the missions, the newness of the gameplay kind of carries you through. Switching characters carries you through. And then like, oh, we're going to build up this old Avengers base, blah, 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 and story. But then they open up like the training areas and the extra levels, and you start to go through those, and it just gets so samey and boring. Mm-hmm. And that gameplay wears on you so quick. Stuff? That gameplay has zero staying power.
Yeah, do they make you go through like the training areas and stuff, or is it...
They introduce it to you where you're forced to like start a training mission. I don't know how many you actually have to do, but then when it opens up, it's ideal to go through them because you unlock stuff and make your character stronger. And you kind of want to do like one of each, but they unlock quite a few different training missions, including playing as Avengers that you haven't unlocked yet. Like there's a training thing to play as Iron Man before you actually meet up with Iron Man, probably to get you ready to play as Iron Man.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just... And maybe it's funner with friends. I never really got a group together to play Marvel's Avengers, but nobody I know is really interested, to be honest. So
yeah, I mean, maybe I'll download and we can try it, because going through it by yourself,
yeah, it's not great.
And getting your ass kicked. First of all, getting your ass kicked by jobbers, as you would say, like it's annoying. If I'm getting my ass kicked by regular ass enemies and I'm the Hulk, there's an issue.
There's a real power imbalance, probably just due to the grindy nature of the game. And having played the beta and knowing kind of what to expect and going into it, I was able to catch on and play a little bit more effectively, which did make me feel powerful. Like, I really enjoy playing as Thor. He's one of the funner characters I felt like.
It sucks because I was actually interested in the story.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see what was going on, but if I got to play that to figure it out.
It's a little too sloggy. Yeah. I don't know. Good luck, Marvel's Avengers. Maybe don't do what you did next time. I guess they didn't do it next time because Guardians of the Galaxy is actually good. Who knew?
Exactly.
Anyways, all right. Well, we're getting to the top of the hour. We have a listener question. So this week, Jeff G on FB. Jeff G on FB. On Facebook, he asked, 2 parts. What is one game you regret buying? For him, it was Devil May Cry 2. And then the second part, what's one game you wish you had in your collection? So I'll let you go first.
I'm just going to agree with you on the Devil May Cry 2 because it's just a bad game, period.
It is, but I don't regret it.
I regretted that shit.
I didn't regret it just because it was all I had at the time and I still had fun with it and I still 100%ed it. But I get it. It is a bad game.
I didn't have much money. But in my adult life, a game that I regret buying brand new and giving money to the developer was Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ouch.
Yeah. You know me. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. It's like my favorite franchise. Kingdom Hearts 3 did not deliver at all.
No.
It delivered the last 3 hours. I'm playing a game for 30 hours, and I'm just now getting to the meat of the story, 27 in. The gameplay was... I didn't feel like I could ever lose. which is not good for Kingdom Hearts. I always felt like in Kingdom Hearts, I would struggle at least at certain points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was super easy, and there was always a get out of jail free card if you were getting
Sora
overwhelmed.
was so powerful.
They were like, "Do this. It's a small world ride, or do the teacups, or some bullshit." Yeah,
there's literally always something you could do to get out of any situation, which is fun, but there's no stakes for me. I don't feel like I'm ever going to lose in this. I don't think I died once in that game, now I think about it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say I regret it, because again, I platinumed it, but I was disappointed by it, for sure. I was disappointed by it. All right, for me, I chose to just do an entire system. I regret buying an Xbox One. I paid like $215 for it. I think I got it from like used, and I barely touched the thing. It's collecting dust somewhere in my house right now. And
you just sell that bitch.
Yeah, I should have. I don't know. I use it to turn one of my older TVs into a smart TV.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what I did. But you're right.
Sell it and buy a Fire Stick.
With my Series X, there's literally no reason to hang on to it. So I should probably sell it and buy a Fire Stick. But yes, as far as like games that I regret buying, I'll tell you one game that I bought a while back that I regret buying, and I immediately sold it back. State of Emergency for PS2. Do you remember that game?
Yes, I used to love that game.
Oh, I thought it was so shitty.
Oh my goodness, it was so cheesy.
Maybe I should go back and give it another chance. But I remember playing it going, this is garbage. And I took it back, and I don't know what else I got instead of it, but I got something I enjoyed better. So
yeah, it was no GTA, that's for sure.
No, it was billed like one, but it was not at all. All right, well, what's one game you wish you had in your collection?
I wish I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I want to take you for a ride. I
want to tap the big fat thighs.
Oh my god, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. The roster is weird and awesome. Like, there are so many characters in the game, like, where is that character from?
Yeah.
The giant cactus, where is that character from?
Yeah.
Or the pirate lady, where is she from? I don't know.
Yeah,
all I know is that I want to play as them. I remember the character Jin. I don't know where he's from, but he could punch you with a big robot arm and turn himself golden and do all types of cool shit.
It was wild.
It was the best of times, and it was the best of times.
Yep.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, period. And also, as a bonus to that, Truxton on Sega Genesis, it's a shoot 'em up. I just remember playing that game with my cousin when we were like 8 and 10 years old, and it was just so much fun.
It's coming to Nintendo Switch Online soon.
Right. I hope so.
Who knows? Yeah, I wish I owned Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in its hey. I want to learn how to play it. I was always playing with a friend who knew how to play it and would refuse to teach me and just whoop my ass for about an hour until I went home.
Get good, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man, if I could pick any game, if I could do a system again, I want an N64, because I have a copy of my favorite N64 game and I can't play it. It makes me sad, but N64s are way too expensive nowadays. But a game, Nintendo World Championships.
Ooh, big boy.
That is the holy grail. Yeah, that's the holy grail for NES collectors. So that's super rare. That's that game.
How much is that game worth?
Competitions. Oh my god, I don't know. Let me Google it and find out. Do 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 boop do do boop do do boop do do. $2 million.
Damn.
On eBay, you can buy it now for $2 million. That is the Nintendo World Championships Gold Cartridge WATA 5.0 video game NES NWC.
Not a 5.0.
1990. Yeah, 5.0 isn't that good, is it? Or is it the top?
No, but it might be the top for games that aren't in a box, because that game didn't have a retail release.
It never had a box. Yeah, it looks kind of rough
Right.
too. There's some scuffs on it. I'm looking at the up close picture. So yeah, I want this $2 million game. You gonna get it for me?
I think the game is like, outside of graded, it's like $100,000 or something crazy.
Yeah,
like that. Like, it's real expensive.
Now, Jeff said that he wished he had a complete boxed copy of Earthbound, which I think is also a pretty good get. I think that'd be a worthwhile thing to have in your collection. So good picks. And thank you for the question. Listeners, let us know, what is one game you regret buying and one game you wish you had in your collection? Let's trade them out. Let me know what those are.
Yeah.
Send us an email, give us a shout, shoot a comment, whatever you can do. We'll
I
shout
might have
you out.
them in my eBay store.
we might actually be able to hook you up with that. Now, there's one last thing I wanted to do before we get to What You Feeling. I got a little bit of side feedback from our friends over at Call It Like I Don't See It as far as our listener question last week. I thought I would be remiss if I didn't mention what they were talking about.
What are they talking about?
If you remember the listener question from last week, we talked about if you can make any video game movie, what would it be? GP wrote in from Call It Like I Don't See It podcast, and he said, my casting would be Quentin Tarantino writes a Kane and Lynch movie starring Nick Cage and Michael Keaton. That's wild. It's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. I don't know why the producer was named. I guess he just wanted that Jerry money. Right. And he wanted it directed by Michael Bay.
Okay.
That's bananas.
Right. I think Kane and Lynch could have been a really dope game series, but they just kind of...
Yeah. I'd go see that, though. He said it's a dream cast. Definitely not Oscar-worthy, though. I'd have to agree. He also said it would be cool to get a Dead Space flick where Michael B. Jordan plays Isaac, directed by James Gunn.
Okay.
I'm not sure why James Gunn, because I feel like he wouldn't be the right tone. I feel like it'd be better to do a more prolific horror director. Like maybe James Wan might be a good one for that.
I don't want anybody specific to play Isaac. I want him to be in his suit the whole time.
Yeah, kind of like a Carl Urban Dredd situation.
Yeah.
Where he played Judge Dredd and never removed his helmet. I love that idea.
Yeah.
But also have it be Michael B. Jordan. Pay Michael B. Jordan money to have Michael B. Jordan be Isaac, but then he never takes his helmet off. That's hilarious.
Exactly. Wow, he's real like Michael B. Jordan.
Yep. He moves just like Michael B. Jordan. Oh my God, he's just like Creed.
Right?
All right. Well, this week...
don't stand a chance.
Right. All right, well then this week, Derek, I just got to know one thing. What you feeling?
I'm feeling a song that I found on Spotify. It's by Daichi Miura. He's a Japanese artist, and it's called Spacewalk. When I tell you that I've listened to this song 20 plus times since finding it, and that Vicky has listened to it much more than I have.
Oh, wow.
It's dope. It reminds me, he's giving me kind of that R&B Craig David feel, but also newer R&B shit going on in there. I don't know. It's in Japanese, so I don't know what he's saying. He says some words in English, but it just sounds good. You know how it doesn't matter if it's in Japanese. You hear music and it sounds good. You don't have to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But, you can still look at the lyrics video and figure it out. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, what's funny? I recently got into, when I say recently, like a few months ago or maybe longer, but I got into a random R&B song that I heard. I think it was like, you know how when you scroll Facebook, sometimes it'll just play music videos when you're like scrolling videos, which is weird and random. You know this artist? His name is Sir.
Yes.
John Redcorn.
Love that, man.
You heard that song?
Oh, no, I haven't heard John Redcorn.
John Redcorn is really good. It's kind of sad. It's about a man who's in love with a woman who's already married.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard Hair Down by Sir?
No, what's that?
Please listen to that.
Okay, I'll check that out.
It's called Hair Down. Yeah, it's
Hair Down.
That was the first song I heard by him, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so he's good. So I gotta check out Spacewalk. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, check that out. But yeah, man, what are you feeling this week?
Oh man, so oh yeah. So on Facebook, somebody shared a dub, and it was Brandy singing "Have You Ever Been in Love? Been in Love So Bad," and it was dubbed over to be Macho Man Randy Savage. And I looked at the title, and I realized that it was Brock's Dubs. And if you're not familiar, Brock's Dubs was this stupid YouTube channel that started like 10 years ago. And he got really famous because he dubbed over Rebecca Black's Friday. Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Which seat will I take? And it was stupid. It probably didn't age well, but it was really funny at the time. And I was like, holy crap, he's been dubbing for like 10 years. We be dubbing? Yay. And then I got into this rabbit hole of looking at his recent videos, and they're actually still really funny. So if you are corny like me and you enjoy stupid dub humor, then check out Brock, because he's still in the game. After 10 years, that kind of experience changes a man. It makes him better at dubs ever than before. He also does voices really well. I came across a video where he flawlessly did a Goofy voice, a Mickey Mouse voice, and a Winnie the Pooh voice all in the same video. It's really good. Oh, Baba. So that is what I'm feeling this week. We're going to take a quick break to give some love to the sponsors, and we'll be back to let you know where you can find us throughout the week. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Derek, the holidays are coming up, People need to start ordering their gifts now to get ahead of the rush. Shipping is going to be an effing nightmare. Where can they locate you to get the sweet deals on gamer goodies, possibly more?
They can check out the eBay store at ebay.com/str/gamergoodies and more. Again, running 15% off all the way through the end of November. And it's probably going to spill into December too, so look out for that as well. I'm on Instagram at gamergoodiesmore and Twitter at goodies_more.
I was trying to mess you up. It didn't work. Damn it.
That's because I had it small.
Oh, okay. Oh, you suck.
I looked down. I saw
was doing all kinds of wild shit trying to mess you up. All right.
Oh, shit.
We upload new episodes to our hub at anchor.fm/player2 has entered the pod every single Sunday. We work hard for the money. Well, actually, we don't get any money. We work hard for the people. You out there, you listeners. But if you're not hip to Anchor, that's fine. You can find our podcast pretty much anywhere that podcasts are available, like Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Find us on all the social medias. TikTok.com/@player2 has entered the pod. Facebook.com/player2 has entered the pod. YouTube, player2 has entered the podcast. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, like, comment, share. It really helps us out. If you want to go that extra mile and really, really help us out, we have a Patreon with gifts and things that you can get if you are a big fan of the show, and I hope you are. Patreon.com/player2 has entered the pod. Contact us via that or email us at mcpaperstacks@gmail.com if you have listener questions, guest suggestions, feedback, etc. We would love to hear from you. You can follow me personally on Twitter. I'm at Mike Peterson AL. Twitch streaming at twitch.tv/mcpaperstacks. I cut the schedule way down, but you can still typically find me kicking around on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Right now I'm playing The Evil Within. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Have you ever ended a show? Ended a show so bad. Hopefully so good. Anyways, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.